Everyone. We are here live at Disney's Riviera Resort, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm gonna turn this around so we're not looking at my face. We're gonna go on a little walk today. I am so excited. It is a little bit chilly here in Florida, so I'm bundled up a little bit, but I'm really, really excited for today's topic for the stream. I'm gonna get into that in just a little bit. But I just want to welcome some people in from the chat. We have Lynette, Lady Kirk, good morning. Captain Kirk, yes, thank you. I'm trying to stay warm. It's a little chilly here this morning. We're going to check out some, hey Eric, some Christmas decorations. I just love the walkway into the Riviera. It's so beautiful. Take a look at some decorations. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, an amazing Thanksgiving. Oh, I feel like I'm a little loud for the morning, but here we are. Have a little tree over here, some poinsettias. Good morning, Kelsey. How are you? Such an elegant look here. Loving all the lights. Oh, I should have got my espresso here. What am I doing? I can't have another. That would be just excessive. But I definitely should have gotten mine here. They have some great selections. Well, now I know for next time. I didn't think it was going to be open. Ooh, Kelsey, I hope you have a good flight. Oh, they have a nice tree in here as well. I love this area. I'm going to bring my work here one day and just sit and enjoy the scenery. But thank you guys for being here. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Please do. We're gonna go on a little stroll today through the Riviera and look at some Christmas decorations. Maybe we'll make our way to Caribbean Beach. I'm not gonna go in the elevators, okay. Just walking around. I love this beautiful painting of the castle. This is one of my favorite Disney resorts. It's absolutely stunning. Can't wait to go outside, see what kind of decorations they have there as well. Hey, WDW Dreams Finder. Much respect for the early rise morning stream. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am somebody, it says push, okay. I get up early. Every weekday I'm up by 4 a.m. So here we are. Oh, beautiful views. I love this little outdoor seating area. So I want to give you a beautiful look out from the Riviera. And before we get started on today's topic, I want you to really reflect on this weekend, time that you spent with your family and friends for Thanksgiving, or even if you spent that time alone, that's okay. I want you to reflect and I'll give you about 30 seconds to think about all the things that you're grateful for and just kind of do a little recap in your mind of, this past weekend, maybe Thanksgiving, and reflect on the week ahead. So I'll give you a few seconds with some beautiful scenery. All right. So if you're someone that wants to share something that you're grateful for, please, by all means, but it is not required. I just want to always start out the stream kind of giving you a moment of reflection for yourself, starting the day out with positivity and being really intentional about the week ahead. I want to acknowledge you for being here, taking time out of your day to just reflect and maybe learn something new. I appreciate you being here. And I've said it in past streams too. You know, you're here for a reason. Everyone is here for a reason. If you weren't meant to be here, you wouldn't be here. So even if you're going through a tough time, or maybe this is, you're thriving right now, like there's a reason why you're here. So please, take a minute to acknowledge yourself for how far you've come to this point. And if you've made it through every other day, you can make it through today too. Good morning, Lee. Yes, make it a great Monday. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on a replay, thank you. I appreciate you. And just remember that this is a safe space. I always welcome, conversation in the chat, questions in the chat, and I will address them as best as I can. I will also say that I am not, an expert on any of the topics that I talk about. I am an English teacher, but I want to share everything that I've learned in books, podcasts, and just my own personal experience, because sharing is caring and knowledge is power. I want to, share the information that I found helpful to me. So I always like to say, take what works for you and leave the rest. So we're going to be talking about one of my newest reads. I'm still currently reading this book, but it's a Brenè Brown book, and I'm so excited to get into this topic for today. So we're going to be talking about the idea of shame and like societal expectations. And I know that a lot of people, if not everyone, can relate to this topic. So definitely want to stick around to the end for this one. I am going to go back inside and kind of look at some decorations before we go outside. Oh, I love the stairs, what they did with the decor here. It's so elegant, very classy. So today's book that we're going to be focusing on, I actually wrote, it's a long title, and that title is in the description, but the shorter version is, I Thought It Was Just Me, and then in parentheses, but it's not. And that's again by Brenè Brown. I did want to share the resort activities, so you can take a look at that for this month. Painting on the Riviera, that looks cool. Starlight soiree, okay. That's fun. And movies under the stars, oh, I have to come back. Elemental, I really liked that movie. That's tonight at 8 o'clock. Very cute. I love that they do the fun resort activities. Ah. It is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So grateful to be here and grateful for all of you. Oh my gosh, look at these decorations. There's just a few more resorts on my list of places to go. I definitely want to make sure I make a stop at the Contemporary, so maybe that will be, oh, actually, I have to see. I do have a friend coming into town for next Monday. So she'll be joining me. So I'm going to see which resort she's staying at, and we will be going there. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do want the Contemporary to be on my list of places to tour for my Monday motivation. So if you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you do and turn on the bell for all notifications so you'll be notified when I decide to go live, and you'll see which resort I decide to take a tour of in the morning. It's so beautiful. We can also make our way over to Caribbean Beach in a little bit if we'd like. I want to try and get a good spot to see the sun coming up. But again, we're going to be highlighting some some cliff notes from Brenè Brown's book. I thought it was just me, but it isn't. In just a few minutes. Hey, Peter, good morning. Yes, Kelsey will be at Burn with me on 12/16. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. For those that don't know, I go to Burn Boot Camp. Kind of obsessed with my gym. And Kelsey goes to Burn in DC. And when she comes to visit, she comes to the Burn in celebration as well. It's freezing, people. I am so cold. I'm going to put some gloves on, but let me put the stream down for a second so you can have a beautiful view. Oh, I don't have my gloves. Oh, that's great. I'll put my hands in my pocket. Yeah, it's a little chilly out here. So I'm going to give you this beautiful landscape to take a look at. So when Brenè Brown, her biggest thing that she specializes in talking about is shame. Like, that is her main topic. She is a licensed mental health person. So she has done a lot of research on this topic, and I personally think she's extremely knowledgeable about how human beings like function and interact with each other. So she talks about like that there's 4 different kind of words and emotional responses that we sometimes confuse and use interchangeably. So she discusses the idea of embarrassment, guilt, humiliation, and shame. And she kind of breaks them down in this book in the very beginning to clarify the meanings of each of them. Yeah, it's 40 degrees. And we are out here. We're out here. We're doing it. It's okay. It's so beautiful. I'm like, it feels good. It feels good to be in the cold this morning, especially after a crazy workout that I did. So when she breaks it down, hey, Nicholas, good morning from Buffalo. Oh, so 40 degrees is probably nothing for you right now. Thanks so much for being here. So when she talks about the idea of embarrassment, it's a fleeting emotion, right? It will eventually be a funny story when we, people always ask, like, what's your most embarrassing story? Eventually it becomes something that you can laugh at, right? So that's, when you think of embarrassment, it's something that doesn't last forever. The idea of guilt, it can be something that positively motivates you to act, right? So you can think to yourself, I did something bad. It's more about your behavior, or your behavior being inconsistent with who you want to be. So it's not like I'm a bad person. It's like I did something bad. So that's the idea of guilt. Then she talks about humiliation and people not believing that they deserve that feeling of being humiliated. So again, it's not like an ownership of the emotion per se. Like, you're not taking that on as like, I'm a bad person. It's more of, I can't believe this happened to me. I don't deserve this. And then she defines shame as the voice in your head saying, I am bad. And it's the source of destructive behavior. So when we feel disconnected to people, we're desperate for belonging and recognition. So she talks about shame as like, this is who I am, not this is what I did. So it's important to really understand the definition of shame so that you're able to identify your shame triggers and learn how to overcome that. Wow. Yeah, Lynette. So a lot of people started buying this book when I was raving about it on social media. And we have Adventures by Carney in the chat. He has an amazing channel. That's my boyfriend. And he also has a Discord. So in his Discord, you can go check out his channel and you'll see the link for the Discord. We have my book chat in there, and I talk about this book a lot. And a lot of people started buying it. Lynette is saying, this book made me realize I was in shame during my childhood because my mother left. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's an eye-opener, this book, for sure, because you're able to now have awareness of feelings that you've had in your life and also past events. And when you identify this and you acknowledge it, it's the first step in actually overcoming that and removing the shame that you felt from these situations. So thank you for sharing that. So when we feel shame, we kind of display it in different ways. And I've talked about this on past streams too, because Brenè Brown, although she has written so many books, she really hones in on this topic, and it's kind of woven into everything that she talks about. And one of the ways that you can display or lash out from your shame is to have like power over a situation. And she talks about like having power over versus real power that you can have. So power over is your societal norms dictating how we view the world and creating judgments based on that. And I'm going to get into that a little bit further as we continue. And then she discusses how real power is when we reclaim our real power to create and live by our own definitions, not what society tells us to do. And this power is unlimited. We can create it and build it with others. So it's not limited to one person. You're not trying to hog all this power for yourself. And you can actually expand on it with other people. So we want to empower those around us. Hi. Oh my God. Hi. You're live on YouTube right now. Oh my God, Anthony. Hi. I'm freezing.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. You know, I was just thinking about you this morning at Burn. I really was, because we were doing the med ball taps. Of course I did. The med ball taps, 1, 2, 3, 4 over the shoulder, and I thought of you. Can you please come back?
I'm thinking about it. I'm broke.
Okay, but
Still live on YouTube.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. But please come back. Level Up Games is Saturday too, in case you want to.
Are you competing?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. You know. All right. Well, it was good to see you. Peter's like freaking out right now, but this is Burn Anthony. Yes. He used to work out at the gym with me, and I love him. He's amazing. I miss him. Okay. I was like, ooh, am I getting in trouble? Disney security? No, it's my friend. Who's going in the pool when it's 40 degrees? People on vacation do that. But I think he's just like, I don't know. He's like a higher up in Disney. I don't know what he does, but I gotta text him after the stream. I love this beach area. Super nice. You can have a little seat here and look out at the beautiful lake. Get some nice views. Yeah, the hot tub. Yeah, that would be nice. That's probably why. I mean, they keep the pool open all year round, but maybe when they like open it officially, people go in the hot tub. All right. I'm gonna walk around to Caribbean Beach. Why not? So they put the solar covers on the pools at the Y. Oh, that's good to know. Keeps them warm. So if you're just tuning in, we are talking about Brene Brown's book. I thought it was just me, but it isn't. And when you think about that title, she really is kind of addressing the fact that we all feel shame. And there's a lot of shame behind certain topics that everyone feels, especially, and she narrows down in the first couple of pages the idea of like body image and how people have that same feeling around the idea of like what the ideal body should look like. And she talks about how like this is not dictated by one person individually. This is like society is setting these expectations and norms, and that's why we're all feeling this shame. Mark Mueller, welcome. The pools, I believe, are heated. So, but regardless, the pool is going to be hotter than the air. That's for sure, especially this morning. I just love how pink the sky looks. It's so pretty. So then Brenè goes on to talk about how courage gives us a voice and compassion gives us an ear. I love that statement. I think it's brilliant. I'll say it again. So courage gives us a voice and compassion gives us an ear. And she focuses on how we should really be tuning in and listening to people when they decide to open up and be vulnerable with us. And the idea of just listening to empathize instead of listening to respond is such a huge deal. If somebody is opening up to you and they're sharing something where they're being vulnerable or they're sharing their shame triggers with you or a specific event that happened, this is a huge takeaway that I found myself doing over and over again, and I didn't realize that this was kind of damaging. So the idea of, and I wrote it down, like how we respond when somebody is telling us like a bad situation that they've been in. Not that you're saying it could be worse, but the idea of when you start your sentence like, at least blah, 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 you're trying to show them like to kind of look on the bright side. At least you're not blah, 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 or at least this. And I find myself doing that all the time because I'm trying to fix the situation. Like I don't like when my friends and family are feeling this way, so I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to give a solution. And I feel like we all do that from time to time. But she's saying that this is not what people need to hear in that moment. And it almost strengthens their shame because it's like you're acknowledging it and saying like, yeah, you should feel that way, but at least this. And that was huge for me. So something that I learned from the book, and I actually tried it out the other day, was that you just want to show the other person that you are acknowledging them, you're thanking them for sharing this vulnerable moment with you. Like they're opening up to you for a reason because they feel safe and comfortable. So like almost saying like, that sounds tough. Thank you for sharing that with me. And please let me know what I can do to help you. Right? Or let me know if you need anything. Because sometimes that's all people need to hear. They don't want to be bombarded with solutions or ways that they should be feeling or thinking. Sometimes they just need to let it out. Yes, Lynette, that's something I think we all do. Sometimes when people open up too much, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Captain Kirk, 100%. I feel that too, and I'm the type of person, if somebody starts crying, like I'm gonna be crying too. It's just how I am. So I feel uncomfortable in that moment and I try and like deflect with humor. Like I gotta make this person laugh because they can't be crying because I'm gonna cry, and it's just a chain reaction. But Brenè talks about how like it's important to sit in those moments because this person is feeling safe enough to explore this with you and open up. And by you letting them and allowing that space for them, it's going to help them to heal. So I totally understand where you're coming from. And Brenè says, compassion is daring, learning to relax and allow ourselves to move towards what scares us is true courage. And we should let fear soften us rather than harden us into resistance. And that really stuck with me. And I feel like she's said this in another book because I have heard her say this before, or I've seen it on social media. I love this quote. I think it's brilliant. She says, only when we know our own darkness, we can be present with the darkness of others. So this goes like back to the idea of like, you can't really love someone else until you love yourself type of thing, right? Like you need to understand your darkest times and your vulnerabilities and address that in order to kind of be there for someone else. Because we're all going through similar stuff, right? Emotions and feelings are the same, but like the experiences don't necessarily need to be identical, but you can have similar feelings. Yeah. Yes, Lee, that's huge because I want to help sometimes. I just need to sit with and be quiet and empathize. Absolutely. Yes, because I feel like we all just want to be good people, right? We want to be good friends and good family members, and we're trying to fix all the time, but that's not necessarily what the person needs in that moment. And just asking, like, what can I do? Or let me know if you need anything is huge. She also says, compassion becomes real when we recognize our shared humanity. And I've been reading a lot of things that really focus on connection and how I've talked about this on past streams too. Instead of wanting to fit in, we should want to just belong, right? Going back to what I said earlier, like you're here for a reason. Like it's not a mistake. You're here for a reason. You belong here. And just understanding that you don't want to fit in. You're original. You're not a copy, right? So you want to make sure you're focusing on a sense of belonging instead of a sense of fitting in, because fitting in will strip you of your identity. Love this too. Brenè Brown, she's amazing with like defining words that we kind of think we know the definitions of, and really she gives us like a better way of thinking about it. So empathy is connection. When you empathize with someone, you connect with them, right? You belong with them, and it shows that you are truly listening to them. But sympathy is separation. When you like sympathize with someone, right? It's like you almost like pity them and you feel bad for them. And that's not true connection. Huge. Yeah. Oh, and then I wrote this down too because I need to remember this more. So she says the best way to practice compassion is, it sounds like you're in a hard place. Tell me more about it. Love that. Lynette says, I was lucky enough to realize that as a teenager, be my real self. Yes. Not many people realize that. And some people are, not teenagers anymore and are still trying to fit in. And that's not what it's about. I love this. They're telling us about the purple martins. And how there's a little birdhouse. I don't see any now. They're probably inside the house trying to warm up because it's freezing. We are at Caribbean Beach right now. We just walk to the other side. It's a very short little walk. But I figure, why not just get 2 resorts for the price of 1? Let's do it. Yeah, and then here we go. When you say at least, those responses are about your own discomfort, and it's equivalent to shutting down the other person, right? Because if you're saying, well, at least blah, 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 whatever it is, whatever the case may be, it's kind of taking away the other person's power and shutting them down. They don't want to continue opening up to you because you're right there with, you know, almost like an excuse blocker, I guess. If somebody says, you know, like, oh, of course I get a cold the day of, you know, a big competition at my gym. And then you're like, well, at least you're still able to work out. You know, some people don't have legs. And it's like, all right, well, can't really compete with that. Look at this Christmas tree. I'm going to go inside and show you the tree just because. Why not? Oh, look at these decorations. My goodness gracious. Now I can defrost a little bit. This is a really underrated lobby. It's so pretty in here. Oh, this is nice. I didn't see this at the Riviera, but they have the like torches outside. So if you're waiting for an Uber or something, they have a heat source. Love that. Okay, so Lynette is talking about the web in the book. So basically, if you look towards the center, and this is not going to make sense to everyone, but if you're looking at the picture on the page, if you're taking a look at the center of the web, I believe this is the one we're talking about. It's talking about like societal expectations, and everything that stems off of that is what it affects. And how, like, if you're in this web of shame, is that the one I think we're talking about? Shame, web, and societal expectations. I could take a look at that. I didn't write a lot of notes on that, or maybe I did and I just didn't call it the web, but I'll take a picture of it later and put it in the Discord so we can take a look at that. But basically, it's how everything's connected. Our shame that we're feeling is based on what society has kind of told us. We have a lot of Christmas stuff here. This is cute. Days until Christmas. Let's take a look. I'm just so happy to be inside. It's warm and nice and toasty. Look how cute this is. Christmas ears are on point. Adorable. Oh, that's nice. A little map. You're welcome. Yeah, I want to take a look at that again too, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're referring to. Yeah. So as I defrost a little bit, I want to thank you all for being here. And if you haven't already hit that like button, please do. Good morning. And also consider subscribing. We do Monday morning streams just like this one every Monday morning. These are little shortbread cookies. How cute is that? Yes, like and subscribe. This is cute. I love the little packaging that they're changing everything into now. What is this? Cute. All right, let's go look at that other tree. Oh, look at this little tea. Oh my gosh, I love that. Wonderland tea. That's adorable. but 10 tea bags for $8.49. I don't know. Ooh, you can get a flight of tea. I like that. The sampler set, $21.99. Okay. I don't know. A little pricey, but it's to be expected. All right, let's go look at that tree. You too. The Centertown Market. You can get some quick service here. Oh, look at these cute little trees. Come on now. Hey, Izzo. Yeah, Lynette, it's just so beautiful during the holidays. I love all the decorations. Oh, here's the other tree I was talking about. Oh, thanks for mentioning that, Peter. Yeah, Adventures by Carney will be live at Epcot for Festival of the Holidays later today. I want to go. Look at this cute fish. I'm obsessed with this tree. It's a little sea life. I have to see because it's my first day back to work after a long break, so I have to see how much work I get done. Otherwise, and also let's make sure it's warmer. So I have to see, but I would like to join you later. I just have to see what kind of work I get done before then. Definitely think I have a week's worth of grading to do, so we'll see. And lots of phone calls, so. Oh, 65 today. Okay, that won't be bad. Going back to Brenè Brown's amazing book. And again, I think I've only read about 100 pages, and I have like 5 note cards worth of notes because there's just so much value in the things that she says. And if you haven't read a Brenè Brown book, I encourage you to do so because it's almost like she's having a conversation with you. She gives you like so much information and breaks down like heavy stuff into bite-sized pieces where you can totally understand and, you know, connect with what she's saying. So although like it might be a heavy topic to think about, like she breaks it down. Look how gorgeous. But she says there's power in writing down our thoughts, reading it, and reflecting on it. So if you're someone that doesn't like to necessarily open up to someone else, definitely consider writing everything down so that you can reread it, internalize it, and kind of break it down for yourself. There's so much power in doing that. And she says, shame floods us with fear and blame. That's why sometimes people lash out with anger and blame when they are feeling shameful. And sometimes we can't recognize it until we've already reacted to it because it's like we're on autopilot. It is our first mode of response. It's reactionary because it's been like kind of programmed into us. But if we're able to acknowledge that after the fact and work on figuring out our shame triggers, then moving forward, we're able to be more proactive instead of reactive. And she also writes, our bodies react to shame before our conscious minds do. I think that's brilliant. And it connects with another book that I've just finished reading was The Body Keeps Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. And I talk about that a little bit on my last stream. So if you want to check that out, that's there too. But it does connect with what Brenè Brown is saying in that your body And like your mind can react to something subconsciously without you even realizing it. And to understand our shame triggers, we must accept that acknowledging our vulnerability is an act of courage. So that's a way of like standing in your own power and understanding that like even though you're vulnerable, it does not mean that you're weak. It's courageous to actually be doing this. Good morning, Tomorrowland Traveler. Yes, Lynette says she's very easy to read, not like a textbook, not at all. And Izzo, I feel like a frozen iguana, quite honestly. That's why I'm gonna keep moving so I don't freeze in place. And here's a huge takeaway. Oh, 24 degrees in VA, oh my God. This is huge. It's such a simple sentence, but it's powerful. She says, shame is about perception. It's all about perception, how we see ourselves through other people's eyes. Huge. Because again, it goes back to those societal expectations. That's why we feel shame. If there were no expectations in society, we wouldn't feel shame. So like going back to the example of like body image, right? Where do we get this ideal body image? It's from society. It's from, advertisements. It's from commercials, right? Because if we didn't have this quote unquote shame around body image, then companies would not be profiting off of us. So that's some food for thought. This is a great little area here. Come for some serenity in the morning. And here's an exercise that you can do if you're looking to identify your shame triggers and really dig deep and doing the work. So you can start by writing out, I want to be perceived as blank, 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 and blank. So 5 things. I do not want to be perceived as blank, 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 and blank. 5 other things. Okay, so again, I want to be perceived as, and I do not want to be perceived as. Once you do that and identify the things that are triggering your shame responses, you're able to then uncover the source, okay? So what do these perceptions mean to us? Why are they so unwanted? And where did the messages that fuel these identities come from? And when you look at all of that, you're kind of like pulling back and like zooming out from where it is. So you're focusing in, what are my shame triggers, right? And then you're looking behind it, like where did this come from? And who's benefiting from me feeling this way? And then you can really discover like why this is happening to you. And then when you start to feel those triggers again, you can then address it. Just a little spot to look out. Love this. A lot of places of serenity around this resort. So then once you answer those questions, you can then ask yourself, when looking at the unwanted identities, if people reduce me to this list, right? What is important and wonderful things will they miss about me? So what are the important and wonderful things they will miss if they just reduce me to this list? Right? Because everybody wants to look a certain way and be perceived a certain way, but you have no control over other people's perceptions. I'm going to say that again because that's huge. You have no control over other people's perceptions. Even if you try so hard to do it, you have no control over that. Just want to check the time. All right, I'm going to start making my way back over. We're going to complete the loop this way. Buffalo has snow. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. Pete and I went to New York for Thanksgiving, which was really lovely. It was chilly, but no snow, thankfully, because we were on Long Island. Yeah. Yes, Lynette, you have to be comfortable with yourself. That's right. And not care so much about what other people think. I don't think we're truly going to eliminate that because it's been so ingrained. And there is a healthy amount of like caring about what other people think so that you have manners and, you know, so we can have some sort of like laws and restrictions. But so there's a healthy amount and then there's an unhealthy amount, like where we need to realize that people are going to perceive us how they're going to perceive us. All right. So here are some other things that you can kind of ask yourself. You can do this as an exercise. And I know I'm covering kind of a lot here. So if you want to save this video and come back to it and rewatch it, you can write down all of these like sentence stems. You can write down these questions. If you feel like someone in your life could benefit from this live stream, definitely share it with them. That's the biggest form of flattery for me, is if you like, subscribe, and share. That would be great. It really helps the channel out. And I'm also on my way to hopefully getting monetized. So we need to get those watch hours up. So if you want to share this and rewatch, hey, thank you. All right, so here's some big picture questions. What are the societal and community expectations around whatever your shame trigger is? So if it's, again, I'll use the example of body image, right? So what are the societal and community expectations around body image? Why do these expectations exist? How do these expectations exist? How is our society influenced by these expectations, and who benefits from these expectations? So when you look at all of these things, you're able to see that it's not just you, right? It's not just you feeling this way. It impacts a whole society of people. And that drives us to, going to the gym or getting Botox or eating a healthy diet. Like, I mean, you would like to think that we do this because we want to be healthy or whatever, but there's only one reason why you're getting Botox, and that's to look younger, right? But why do we want to look younger? Because society says that's the way that we're supposed to look. We're not supposed to look our age. But who is benefiting from that? Right? So you got to think about all these factors. When you zoom out from your shame triggers, you're going to see that it's not just about you. It's bigger than that. So many things we talked about the stream. So many things. I'm going to do a small little Cliff Notes recap. But definitely, if you're just joining us, you're going to want to go back and rewatch and re-listen, because there's a lot here that we unpack today. So we talked about the 4 different emotional responses that you can have: embarrassment, guilt, humiliation, and shame. We talked about power over versus real power. We talked about courage and compassion. So courage gives us a voice and compassion gives us an ear. We talked about how empathy is connection, sympathy is separation. Love, love, love. The best way to practice compassion is saying, it sounds like you're in a hard place. Tell me more about it. And those quote unquote at least responses are about your own discomfort and is equivalent to shutting down the other person. We talked about shame triggers and how we must accept that acknowledging our own vulnerabilities is an act of courage. And again, shame is about perception, how we see ourselves through other people's eyes. We talked about trauma and how that affects shame. And we ended with some big picture questions. All right, so knowing that if we kind of zoom out, we can see that there's people with similar struggles. And if we pull completely back, we can see how political, economic, and societal forces shape our personal experiences. And this book kind of makes you feel like, okay, at least I know that I am not the only one. I'm not in this alone. And I'm not even finished with the book yet. There's so much happening. And I love it. Brenè Brown. She's amazing. Yes, Lynette, I could talk about this book for hours too. It's just, there's so much. And you can see the full title, because the title is kind of lengthy, but if you just, go to Amazon and type in, I thought it was just me, but it isn't. I'm sure it'll pop up. The full title is actually in the description below. You'll also find a link if you're interested in some personal life coaching. I do offer those services, so you can fill out an interest form and we can chat about that. You can also consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/learningwithlaw. And there you'll find some different options for you. And then included in one of, I think two of the different levels, there are some options for private and group coaching as well. So if that's something that interests you, if you want to hear more, if you want to work with me privately, there are options there for you. But this is a good spot for the landscape here. It's so beautiful. The sun is fully in the sky. It's definitely a lot warmer than it was when we started the stream. Peter said, great job today. Just one final question. How's the to-go breakfast scene at or around the resorts? I know Peter is hungry and wants some breakfast. Let's see. I want to go in and kind of look at the murals over here too. So we're not done with the stream yet. Please stay tuned. Stay tuned. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Lynette. I try my best to give you the best sunrises. I think last week's stream was really amazing. We got such a great view at the Grand Floridian. That one I thought was, aside from Cocoa Beach, that was like one of my favorite sunrises to watch. So if you missed that stream after this one, definitely check out the Grand Floridian sunrise stream. That one was last week. And we talked about selecting our one words for 2025. I am still in between two words and I cannot decide. I am leaning towards one of them, but I am between peace and worthy for 2025. And I'm not sure where I'm gonna go. We shall see. The universe will tell me. But I am starting to, what I like to do is write like goals for 2025, or for next year rather. And whether I hit them or not, that's okay. And I have it kind of posted in my kitchen. And as I achieve the goals, I check them off. Sometimes I add some throughout the year. So that's just another thing that I do. And I really look forward to creating this list. Was going to do that last night, but I was kind of focusing on some activities that I want to do around Orlando. So I created that list last night. Look how gorgeous. First of all, there's the Christmas decorations. Second of all, look at these beautiful fountains. Third of all, here's my fave. So we have Peter Pan. Captain Kirk, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you being here. I'm glad you're enjoying the sunrises. I enjoy them too. It's a great way to start the week. Captain, I hope you have a wonderful week. And then we have Tangled. I mean, come on. 2 of my favorite Disney movies. Just tiled here as a mosaic. Stunning, just stunning. And then this little flower garden over here. We're back at the Riviera. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Ugh. Let's go back inside. So like I said, next Monday, I'm going to be streaming, not sure from which resort, because my friend is going to come down and she's staying at one of the Disney resorts. So I'm going to find out, and that's where we'll be. I'll have a nice special guest with me, so that'll be fun. So you definitely want to make sure that you're subscribed so you can see where I'll be for that stream. The ground is wet. Shoes are squeaky. They got a nice gym over there. All right. Thank you. All right. So, Peter, just let me know where you want me to get you breakfast. Going up the stairs, gonna check out the decorations one more time. And we'll end off with a beautiful view. Ugh, gorgeous lobby, gorge. Look at this little tree. I was expecting a bigger tree kind of in the middle, but I guess the lights there don't allow for a big tree. But this one is still super elegant, really gorgeous. Let's go out here. This is a fun spot to, grab your coffee from the little coffee shop and just sit out here and enjoy it. We're coming full circle. This is where we started the stream. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. I want to acknowledge you all for taking this hour out of your Monday and really starting out on a positive note. Hopefully you learned some information here and grabbed a little nugget, maybe put it on a post-it note and post it on your mirror, just giving you something to think about for the rest of the week. Hopefully you've all been thinking about your 1 words for 2025. If you have those, definitely you can write it in the comments here. You can go back to last week's stream and comment it there as well. I would love to know your 1 words. Or you can send me an email as well. The link and the information for that is down below in the description, as well as the full title of the book by Brenè Brown. So I just wanted to thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for all of you spending your Monday mornings with me. I love doing this, just kind of reflecting for me as well on the things that I am reading and learning and growing from. So I appreciate you. But let's turn it back around. We don't need to look at my face, and just take one last look at this beautiful, beautiful view. Thank you so much, Lee, Izzo, Lynette, thank you. Thank you, Lady Kirk. Thanks, Mark. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And remember, you're here for a reason. You've been through every day before today, so you can make it through today as well. So thank you so much. I will see you next Monday. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.